What can you tell me about the history of the club?
Not much. Apart from being absolutely amazing in the 90s and winning a lot of premierships, that's about as far as that goes.
So you don't know when the club started or
in
how?
1952. I know it was I always get told that it was a tin shed, just pretty much in a paddock.
They're proud of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you know about the history of Happy Valley Football Club, Maria?
Only basically what has been going on over the last few weeks with this documentary that you're doing.
Really, it's the first of...
Yeah.
What do you boys know about Happy Valley Football Club?
Uncle Pat would be really good, mate.
Yeah.
How many games do you play for Valleys?
Oh, I got no idea. All the records got burnt. They had them in a shed down here at...
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
You
You
haven't seen him for a while, have you?
I've seen him for a couple of years.
He was a very, very good footballer, mate. I never seen him play, but he was a very good footballer. Very good footballer.
And everything went up in flames. And they lost the old, all the old original records. They just all got destroyed.
The original minutes still exist, though?
The whole lot, I think.
You take that with you? Look after it?
I believe there was a meeting in 1952
Yeah.
exploring the notion of forming a football club.
My brother was the instigator of that.
How'd that happen?
We were both playing at Renella at the time. And
And what happened? You weren't happy at Ranella, or
yeah, I was. I just started learning what football was all about.
you were how old?
What I'll be then? 18, 19, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think about your brother's idea about? Because it's pretty bold.
No, well,
Who's this guy?
started off
This is Paddy Schurgott, real name Colin, and he was a foundation player back in, well, 52, 53. Not quite sure when the first game was.
I reckon the first game, played their first games in 53, would be my guess.
I thought it was 53. I think that's when they first started trying to get it up and running again. And it took a few years, as I said.
In the minutes book there, it says that the club was formed in December 1952, which would suggest that the club actually started playing in 53.
53, yeah.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't have played as a team without it being formed, one would have assumed, because you have to be in the association, so the team would have had to have been formally formed. So that's an interesting thought, that perhaps the date is wrong.
It's possible. Well, it's one of the interesting things that an exercise like this throws up.
Well, it is.
So this is the uncle of Ross and
Yeah.
their visit.
Noff Gill is a brilliant player. He captained the side to 4 premierships.
Played in 7, I believe.
Played in 7 with my son, Darren. He played, there was 3 of them, him, Michael Cook, Darren and Darren Spinks played in all of the finals.
They could all play.
They could all play, you know.
Apparently Darren could really play.
He was a very good player, yeah. The association centre half back for many years and life member of the Southern Footy League, and you know, so he was really good. They were all good. They were all good.
Certainly was a little, you know, that 90s thing was a bit different to probably what use.
Totally different. When I first come to Happy Valley, it was just a social footy club, and they had no juniors. They had no structure. They'd sort of, in fact, the first year I played there in 1974, I come from Marion Footy Club where I'd been for 14 years, and come to Happy Valley. They had no juniors, but it was the best year of footy I'd ever played in. It was a great. I just fell in love with the place, and we won a premiership in '74.
Where was the grand final?
At the old Panthers ground down at down at Tonsley, and we beat Plimpton by I think 6 or 7 points, close game. But the following year we lost about 9 players, and then we were playing in Division 3. Then we got elevated to Division 2 with basically a B grade side. So we started to get smashed for quite a few years after that.
It's good for your character.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I'd done, I'd started off at Clarendon with my brother. He played there in 47, and the next year I went up and played, had a few games there in 48. I think it was 48, and then we came down and played at Renella.
I mean, it was a pretty bold idea because there weren't actually a lot of people at Happy Valley.
I couldn't believe it, because I'd stepped into A grade at Renella, and I thought, no, I'm not going back to, you know.
You've just broken into the side, yeah.
Yeah. And no, well, yeah, well, if you get enough, yeah, I'll join you. Well, they had all the old broken down footballers they could find and everything else, you know.
They were, but everybody wanted to play.
Where'd they get them from?
Finally got it round the district somewhere.
Or probably outside of the district.
Well, they got some from outside, yeah.
The Earl brothers came from over the hill. They were related to the Clars, Ivan.
Which is handy.
And then some of them were mates with the Schurgott boys, the Malcolm Jones.
Oh, even Ivan Clark, Harold Clark, they were elderly blokes, they were.
So they're really past their best.
Oh, they've gone well past that, yeah. But they all came and made up
A football club?
We played quite a few games with 16 at one stage and all that sort of thing, went through it.
I mean, both my brother and I and father played in those first few years. So.
Which is remarkable, playing in the same team as your dad.
Well, you know, you've got to remember that association had a lot of fellows that were playing into their 50s. And as tough as nails. I mean, us young ones used to come up and...
Yeah. Well, I was only a lad from 52. Yeah, but well, back in the days when you filled in, you were 19th or 20th man when you were 11 or 12 year old. There was no junior football. So, I mean, my first game of football, I can't remember, probably 12.
Playing against men?
Yeah, yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was fun.